Hi, I'm Vince Speed Mark II. Welcome back to my Kerbal Space program after a long break. So what we'll be doing today then is we'll be launching our first orbital test of the Altair LM1. Okay, so that's going to be a mission to the Moon with an Altair and an Orion, and we'll carry out the an orbital test, and then hopefully get all the guys back to Kerbin. So here we go. Okay, and here we go. There goes the solid rocket boosters. For this mission, I'll be using two Ares 5 launchers, just because the Ares 1 just is not man enough to lift an Altair LM1, and also I want to use the Kerbin departure stage to kick us off on the way to Moon. So, yeah, that's what we'll be doing for this mission. Okay, and here we go onto the using the Kerbin departure stage just to get us into orbit. Actually, looking at how we're doing now, I think I might change my mind and use an Ares 1 to get the Orion and the crew up here, because we can always just transfer a little bit of fuel, and we've got a lot of fuel left in the departure stage at the moment, so why waste a big rocket when you can use a little one, right? Okay, so here we are in a roughly 75 kilometer by 75 kilometer orbit. What we're going to try and do is sort of line up align our orbit with the Moon. That way we don't have to do too much work in getting a capture, really. Oh man. Okay, so we've got to burn slightly north. Okay, that's close enough. Okay, so here we are. All we've got to do is just wait for the crew. I might reorientate the craft so it's easier to retrograde. Yeah, face it, retrograde, so it's a little bit easier to dock with it later on with the Orion craft. Like I said, we've still got the majority of the fuel in the Kerbin departure stage, so we might just use an Ares 1 for the Orion, and then transfer whatever's left of the fuel from the Orion, from the Ares 1 into there. That should give us enough kick to get us to the Moon, I think. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so here we are, 7.9 kilometers out. Little bit of adjustment needed. Okay, so here we are approaching the Altair LM1. I might rename all these vessels with some nicer names. I don't know, I'm not too sure yet. Yeah, but here we are on approach anyway. And you'll notice I've turned the music back on because it was getting a bit too quiet. Okay, here we go. Just on that final approach. The annoying thing is I've not actually put any lights on on the Orion, so I can't light it up, see where I'm going. But never mind. It's a design improvement for next time. See. Oh, yeah, it helps if you turn the SAS off when you're trying to dock. Then you get that little bit of movement. Okay, there you go. So we're now docked up with the Munar lander. We've got a bit of fuel left to transfer over, so we'll do that. And this is our stack that's going to head to the moon. Right, now let's try and set up our burn to get ourselves to the moon then. For this mission, it'll actually mostly be controlled by Bob Kerman. Well, for the flight to the moon anyway, it'll be controlled by Bob Kerman from the Altair LM1. Okay. Alright, the problem with this setup is because of this wobbly joint here between the Orion capsule and the Altair module, and also the overall length of it, so the distance from that engine to the joint, you can't actually ever burn at maximum burn, because it starts to wobble a bit, and once it starts to wobble, it's not very long before it just snaps in half. And if you're lucky, you end up with two separate capsules. If you're not, you end up in millions and millions of pieces. There you are. Oh, there you go. 59. Yeah. Ah, more. That'll do, and we'll just adjust it as we go, I guess. Okay, so let's see if we can find that orbit again, and we'll control from here. So this is the sort of motion I'm on about. It does start to oscillate a bit. And if you have that whilst you're burning at maximum boost, well, things go wrong very quickly, don't they? That should be the only active engine. Everything else should be gone. Alright, okay, we're ready to go. In a few minutes' time, obviously. I reckon it'll be about a minute's burn, minute and a half maybe, so we'll burn at 45 seconds. Okay, so sometime later, getting ready to launch towards Moon. Turn the RCS on, just gives a little bit more stability. And I believe we can get away with about... No, sorry about that. We can get away with about... two-thirds of maximum burn, a minute and a half, so I wasn't too far wrong. Of course, what I will do is transfer that fuel back, just to show we didn't use any of the fuel. Ryan, none for that. Okay, and there we have it. 50-ish, 51 maybe. Orbital altitude around the moon, so let's hurry up and get there. But first, let's actually put out some photovoltaic panels, so we've got some electricity when you get that. Those are a bit girly, never mind. Okay, so we're about to enter our moon capture, well, moon encounter rather. Whoa, okay, here we go. Just need to adjust our orbit slightly. Remember, we're aiming for 50 kilometers. So we're going to go. Right, so here we go. Yeah. Just a minor adjustment, brings down to about 50 kilometers. Oh, not too much. There you go, 50 kilometers, almost exactly. Just a bit more room. Okay, so let's try and set up a orbital insertion burn. Remember, for this part of the challenge, we're trying to do it using only the Moonlander fuel, and try not to use any fuel from the Orion module. Right, so I'll do about 50 by 50. And here's a moment of truth, and I've overshot that by miles. So this is the wobble I was on about earlier. It just, all it does is just get worse and worse and worse until that joint just snaps and you get one craft crush into the other. Hang on, and we might be there. Ooh, we might have gone too far actually. Yes, we have. However, as you can see, we are now in a Munar orbit of 50 by 16, 51 by 16. So let's try and correct that a bit. Okay, and finally here we are. So what's going to happen next is we're going to get maybe Jeb to go over into the lunar module, Munar module, sorry, and maybe Bill into the passenger section there, and we'll carry out the no, we should get the scientists to do it. Get all the scientists over into the Munar module, and then we'll just carry out the Munar orbital trial. Okay, here we go. Chat bus. Of course, if I paid a little bit more attention when I was docking these two craft together, this would have been a lot easier, but it's not too bad, is it? And Macsey, who causes more trouble than he really is worth. Hopefully he'll behave himself this mission. And here we are. Okay, maybe one more pilot, so we'll go for Jeb, because he's the mission commander. Come on, Jeb. Where's he off to? Okay, we're all set to go. Okay, so we've got to undock this and then move to 100 kilometers away from the Orion module. Get rid of the landing section, the descent stage, and then come back and dock up. That's a simple test, isn't it? So let's get going. Interestingly enough, I reckon we would have had more than enough fuel for landing. Right. Okay, and back away. Ooh, a bit too close there. That will probably take us, let's go 150. That'll probably take us 100 kilometers away from the Orion module. Let's see how the crew's doing. Good view out the front there. Incidentally, that would really get in the way of looking where you're going when you're landing. And here's who I can only assume is Jeb in the command seat. And then the other guys. Macsey screaming his face off as normal. Okay, so let's see how far away we can get. $50. And it's gone, which means we must be far away indeed. Let's have a look on the map. So according to the map, we are set that as target. On the map, we are 168 kilometers away from the Orion Mark 1 craft. Okay, let's try and set up a rendezvous when we get back. So we can meet up with them and dock up again. Right, so first of all we've got to get rid of this descent stage, so I believe this should do it. Okay, so now I've lost the descent stage and we've got to try and set up a rendezvous and docking with the Orion capsule again. Okay, that's right. I reckon if we were to get closer, closer to the moon. If we got that close, we'd crash into the moon. So let's go the other way. Not too far. 1.8. Not too far. Okay, 0.1, that'll do nicely. It's not too bad, it's a 2-second burn in about 43 minutes. And there she blows. That'll probably just keep going round and round and round, I imagine. And this is what would be our ascent stage. So this would be the task of this would be to get us from the surface of the moon right up until our rendezvous with the Orion module. I think there's enough juice in this capsule to actually get back to Kerbin without an Orion module, but obviously we wouldn't do that. Get ourselves lined up. Okay. New node sorted. All we've got to do now is go around the moon one more time. What is that? Come here. In case anyone's wondering why we've got none of the new science modules on board, this was designed pre 0.24, so we didn't have anything new science modules, to be honest. But I think it still counts towards the science points anyway. Right, here we go, and that's the Orion module right there. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to it. God, we are going at a fair rate actually. Right, slow down. Okay, and let's slam the brakes on. There you go. Okay, line ourselves up for the approach. Look at that, it's an almost textbook rendezvous. Okay, and let's dock. It's just so much easier when you've got a smaller craft, I think. And you will not believe this, we've run out of RCS. Ah, it's not good. Oh no, we haven't, that's right. And look at us, we are docked up. What we've got to do now is first of all stop it from spinning, which is quite annoying, and then get everyone back onto the Orion. So we'll start off with Chadbus. Ooh. Hold on, Chadbus. Settle down, come on. Land low. Headlong. And obviously let's not forget Macsey, even though I think Kerbal TV would thank us if we did forget him, but never mind. Oh, rockets. Come on Macsey, you've done this before. Admittedly, the last time you did do it, you'd cost us a space station, but... Board. And look at that. No mishaps. Yet. And let's get Jeb first into the cockpit. Sorry, command module. Board. And finally, Bob Kerman. Okay, so that's the whole crew transferred over. Now I believe what we've got to do is then crash the ascent module into the moon. I'll check that actually a second. Yep, I was right. You've got to undock this, and because it's robotically controlled, yes, we can then crash land it into the moon. Though actually, to prove a theory, I want to see if no, I'm just going to crash land it into the moon. But I do reckon it would have enough fuel to get back to Kerbin on its own. There we go. Switch back to the Orion. Okay, and let's go home. Shut that first. We're going to try and get just a direct return. Okay, not that direct, obviously. Try and get what, 20. That'll do it. There you go. That should slow us right down. And alright, let's go home. in about 29 minutes. Let's activate this engine before I forget. I reckon it's about a minute's burn, so we'll burn it. Stop burning at about 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Oh god, not a minute at all. 17 seconds, right? Now. Okay, again, gone a bit too far. Just correct that a little bit. Okay, and sorted. Just let this back up face the right way. We'll be home in no time. Okay, and here we are approaching Kerbin. Oh, too fast. Okay, so let's just get rid of the service module. And there it goes. Okay, and here we are. Mission accomplished.